Welcome, Smash Heads, to the second half of Week 7. About to bring this week to a close. Of course, a half a dozen games to do it here, and they're all going to happen today, including our main event. But we start things off with the team, the only team left in the CDL, looking for their first win of 2024. And surprisingly, I can't believe it, but it's true. It's the Philadelphia Demons. No wins, 6 regulation losses. Has been a really, really tough season so far for Philadelphia. Their opponents on the visitor side of the field here, that's the Carolina Crash Cats. Crash Cats having a good year so far, 4 wins and 2 losses, and looking to get to that 5-2 marker right here and now. So let's see what's going to happen. First, the lineup, starting with the visiting side. Monty Jr. leads the way for the Carolina Crash Cats. Following him out there will be Rowdy at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's going to be Sub-Zero. And at 5-point gainer for Carolina, it will be 001, the rookie, at 5-point gainer. Now to the home side, the car that actually had some repair work done just recently. That is Golden Rat at the front runner spot. Has some tungsten putty added. Was weighing about 33 grams. Now weighs at 40 grams now on the scale. At the middleman spot, there's going to be Silver Molina. At the captain spot, it's going to be Sonic Boom for Philadelphia. And at 5-point gainer, they'll have Purple Custo there to hold down that 5-point gainer spot. Pardon me, folks. So, nonetheless, I deal with a little burping or gas or whatever. Gas in the chest. We'll go on ahead and get the back 3 off the field and we'll get ready. The front runners on the field ready to go into action here. First collision about to take place. Like I said, some weight added to Golden Rat. We'll see how he does as he now takes on Monty Jr. Game is on. The second half of Week 7 is on. Both cars stay up on the first collision. And on the second collision, Golden Rat has a good flip. You know, the whole point of drafting Golden Rat was the thought that, hey, maybe he could be like the next Ratified. And, well, that one looked good right there. But now taking on Rowdy. 5-0, Demons in the lead. Golden Rat going to be looking for more. Both cars stay up and they'll switch sides here. The only question is who that would benefit. These two cars battle. A good fight so far between the two. And Golden Rat a little unstable. And look at this. Golden Rat with the flip right there. Turns it around. Was kind of unstable and on the ropes. But that time, Rowdy gets taken down. It's 10-0 Demons here. Is that all he needed was just a little extra tungsten putty, a little extra weight? 10-0 the score. He'll go for the shutout here for what would be a huge upset. But that being said, Sub-Zero trying to keep Carolina in this game. And that time, both cars staying up. They'll switch sides here. We'll go at it again. The match continues. And look at that. Sub-Zero with a good flip right there. So, no shutout, but Golden Rat with 2 flips today. So maybe that's the design change that was needed. But now it's on Silver Molina. Demons with a 10-5 lead. Looking for the win still here. And, of course, this is where your big guys got to step up. Veterans like Silver Molina happen to come through. Got his first flip of the season last week. Now looking for more here. Looking for a game-winning flip. He takes on Sub-Zero. Almost had it right there. Both cars staying up. And, again, both cars able to stay alive. And both of them have come close. And, yes, they'll separate here. They're stuck. Getting separated. And now, look at that. Sub-Zero able to somehow pop back up. But not that time. And it's over. 15-5, the final score. And Philadelphia, the drought is over. The Demons are back in the win column. Huge victory here for Shane Geiser's Philadelphia Demons. And a congratulations to him. Because coming up this Friday, he is graduating high school. So, again, Shane Geiser, congratulations. Definitely proud of you. No doubt about that. Whole family is, man. So, but much love on that. And congratulations, Shaney. And, hey, going to college next. So, just such a accomplished athlete, scholar. I mean, Shane Geiser just knocking it out of the park. And his Philadelphia Demons getting them a win here today. And, of course, Philly's first win of the season. So, huge win for them. And, folks, everybody's at least got a loss, and everybody's at least got a win in this league now. So, but that being said, more action coming up here today. The Los Angeles Blades going to be hosting the Seattle Lumberjacks next, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Smash Heads. The time has come to move on to the Western Conference for the first time here in the second half of Week 7. Philadelphia Demons coming off of their first win of the season, and now we have a team, the Seattle Lumberjacks, on the road looking for their second win of the season. And, you know, they're coming off of winning their first game of the year. So, after having an 0-5 start, can they pull the 2-5? Going to be a tough challenge for them. They're on the road against the Los Angeles Blades. The Blades coming into this game a record of 4 wins and 2 losses. And, of course, trying to keep up with the Nevada Thunder there in the Pacific Division. And, of course, also trying to take advantage of Phoenix, who took a loss to Nevada in yesterday's game day. So, we'll see what happens here, folks. We've got the Los Angeles Blades taking on the Seattle Lumberjacks. Let's get a look at the lineup. Starting with Seattle. They'll lead the way with 76. Following them out there, it will be Kid Custom. At the captain spot, going to be Black Spectite for the Lumberjacks. And at 5-point gainer, it will be Rocket Oil. Now to the home side. The Los Angeles Blades going to lead the way with Pink Indy Jr. Following them out there, it's going to be Ratitude Jr. At the captain spot, it will be Greelina for the Blades. And at 5-point gainer for Los Angeles, it is Padawan. So both teams set and ready to go. Pacific Division Showdown set to take place. And Seattle, like I said, off to that rough start in 2024, but looking to maybe get turned around now. Looking for a bit of a winning streak, but it doesn't start well. A good flip right here, and there's no mesh break there, but even if there was, he's still up in the process. So Pink Indy Jr. getting a good flip, and just like that, off the first collision, it is going to be the LA Blades in the lead, and that will now bring out Kid Custom. 5-0 Los Angeles. And it's going to be 10-5 as both cars are going to be down here. So, really some good offensive stats for Pink Indy Jr. despite getting flipped there. 2 flips for, 1 against. And, well, I should say a flip for and, of course, a tie collision, which counts for both when you go to the offensive and defensive efficiency ratings. It gets taken into account for both. So nonetheless, but a good flip on Kid Custom there. And just like that, the Los Angeles Blades, 1 flip away from a win here. Trying to get it is going to be Ratitude Jr. Score 10-5. Ratitude Jr. looking for the win. And of course, Black Spectite trying to tie it up for Seattle. And both cars are going to be down. And folks, it's not over yet. But boy, we got a game that's really just going by really quick as we have a tie collision yet again. And now LA still, again, going for the win here. But of course, the 5-point gainer for Seattle has a chance. 15-10 the score, Los Angeles on top, and it's going to be Greelina going for the win. Of course, Rocket Oil trying to force overtime for the Lumberjacks. Here we go. Smash Mouth offensive style versus the more defensive style. And of course, the defensive style would be more Greelina, and of course, Rocket Oil, more of that Smash Mouth offense that he brings to the table. 2 methodologies, or I don't know, 2 methods, I guess, methodologies, right? Or maybe y'all can inform me of the English language of what word works best. 2 ways of doing things, I guess. That's a simpler way of putting it, I suppose. This match continues right here. Greelina and Rocket Oil having the battle right here. And this time it's definitely a mesh break. But no flip on it. So we are just going to reverse sides here. Both cars staying up. There's no flip on the plate. So no real need for a mesh break call. There's no flip. Even though it was one. But these cars have switched side now. And a little unstableness from Rocket Oil. Can he recover and get a flip or not here? Is Greelina staying really, really stable right now as these 2 cars continue to battle. Good match on hand. Game on the line here. Lumberjacks trying to force OT. Not going to happen. Rocket Oil can't handle the edge right there. And yes, he's touching the light, but he's not going over it. I don't think we are going to have a mesh break. Not even going to be close to a mesh break right there. So I slide the knife across where the mesh is. As you see, it does not move the car at all. So it is going to be a good flip. The only thing that would be in question is the collision itself, which gets reviewed. So with the ruling on the field stands, I think we're good right here, and I think it's a good flip from my vantage point. I just gotta see it from your vantage point. But 15-10 is going to be the final of this one. The Los Angeles Blades getting a huge win here at home and getting the job done. So coming off the tough loss to San Francisco, they're able to rebound and get themselves to 5-2. Huge win for the Blades and for Seattle. It was a tough season to start off with, and it's going right back to being tough. So after winning their first game of the year, they quickly find the loss column again as they slide to 1-6. Anyways, coming up next, we've got Jim Hull Sr. and his San Antonio Defenders going to be on the road to do battle with the newbie in the Central Division, the Kansas City Outlaws. Of course, the Outlaws have been around a while, but their first year in Kansas City. So first meeting between the Defenders and Outlaws as division rivals. And it's coming up, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Smash Heads. Time to move on to the game that's going to put us 3/4 of the way through Week 7 right here. And two teams with a bit of a shared path, so to speak. We've got the San Antonio Defenders and the Kansas City Outlaws. Now, this is their first time meeting as division rivals, as, of course, the Kansas City Outlaws are, after the relocation, just now playing in the Central Division for their very first season. They were in Gowanda last year, up in the Northeast, right there with local rivals, the Buffalo Warriors, for the longest time. But now as Kansas City, they already have a little bit of heat with the San Antonio Defenders, Jim Hull Sr.'s squad. Now, Jim Hull Sr. made a trade with the Outlaws in order to get their first-round pick in the draft. The car that they traded away was this car right here. Silver and Black Attack Jr. right here at the middleman spot here today for Kansas City. So here this car comes in today, set to take on his former team. It will be the first of two regular season meetings between the two. So huge game in that regard. So some storyline with that. But that being said, Jim Hull Sr. back home from the hospital, was discharged, so doing great at home, relaxing and recouping at home. So, of course, we wish him nothing but the best, and they continue to get well as we'll continue to basically monitor his condition as an outpatient, right? So that's what's going on with that. But nonetheless, he is back home, not in the hospital any longer, so that is the greatest good news that we could have right now. But nonetheless, let's get a look at the lineups here. San Antonio Defenders leading the way with Red Rat. After Red Rat at the middleman spot, it's going to be Aqua Ferrari for the San Antonio Defenders. At the captain spot, going to be Indy 5 Jr. for San Antonio. And at 5-point gainer, it's going to be Green Blaze Jr. for the Defenders. Now to the home side. The Kansas City Outlaws going to be leading the way with Hammer at the front runner spot. To the middleman spot, we just talked about him, Silver and Black Attack Jr. for Kansas City. To the captain spot for the Outlaws, it's going to be Ratitude. And at 5-point gainer for the Outlaws, it is going to be Black Spinebuster. So both teams ready to go as they'll take the back three and leave just the front runners to start things off here. Central Division Showdown, Outlaws, Defenders, here we go. Kansas City and San Antonio leading things off, and this is close. Very close. I think it's going to be touching. I think maybe, let's see. It's going to be a close one. Yep, I'm separating them, so he is making that contact. It's going to be a mesh break here. So Red Rat, saved by the mesh break. He'll keep the home side here and will continue. He was being separated with the knife, and this time, again, able to stay up. Almost another mesh break there. And this time he's down. So, I guess it's so nice that Hammer was able to do it twice to get the flip on Red Rat. But nonetheless, 5-0. Kansas City Outlaws in the lead. And now going for more as that brings out Aqua Ferrari for the Defenders. These two go at it. Both cars staying up. 4-2 is the record of the Outlaws, and they're a flip away from 5-2. Gonna say San Antonio struggling at 1-4, 0-1, and one flip away from taking their 5th regulation loss of the season. As we saw Aqua Ferrari go down, and Hammer, I mean, he's a good offensive car and showing off his stuff here. 10-0 the score. Kansas City on top right now looking for the win. And almost had it right there. Indy 5 Junior trying to get his team in the game, and does. So, from going from an almost shutout there and turning it directly into a flip that keeps the Defenders alive. So, Hammer down, and that now brings out Silver and Black Attack Jr. going up against his former team. 10-5 the score. He looks to get the game-winning flip against them. Of course, Indy 5 Jr. trying to tie things up. Both cars stay up on the first collision. And they'll go at it again, and it's over right there. And that's his bragging right there to get the game-winning flip against a team that traded him 15-5, the final score. And it's going to be the Kansas City Outlaws getting the victory over the San Antonio Defenders today. Of course, if the ruling on the field stands. And it was a game-winning flip there at the end. Of course, all game-ending flips do get reviewed. Do apologize for yesterday's video. When I released it, I forgot to edit that. I forgot to put the, the little text box that says flip is good to basically show you if the flip was good or not. But they all were, and I made a comment on that. So that's why I made that in the comments, right? To put that in the comments right there. But nonetheless, every flip, every game ender yesterday was good, and we'll see if this one is or not. But nonetheless, coming up next, just 3 games left to go, and Brandon Kuma is going to be playing in 2 of them. And as a matter of fact, Hunter Bradshaw are going to be playing in 2 of them as well. But they face each other in the main event. But nonetheless, Brandon Kuma's Tampa Bay Gators going to be hosting the Atlanta Avengers. It's an Atlantic Division showdown coming up, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Smash Heads. Onwards we move with Week 7 here in the Car Demolition League. And should be a fine matchup right here as we got 2 teams, just 2 games separated or 6 points separated in the standings from each other. The Atlanta Avengers on the road here, 3 wins, 3 losses, trying to get above the 500 mark, but not going to be an easy task because we've got the Tampa Bay Gators, 5 wins and 1 loss. As a matter of fact, trying to bounce back from taking that 1 loss, their first loss of the season last week. Here at home, looking to do that and get back in the win column. So, big game here from the Atlantic Division. Let's go on ahead, get a look at the lineup. Starting with the visiting side. The Atlanta Avengers are going to lead things off with El Rey at the front runner spot. Following him out there, the rookie, it is Track at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's going to be Frostjet there for the Avengers, and at 5-point gainer for Atlanta, the number 1 overall pick of the draft that so far has not panned out and has found his spot at the 5-point gainer here on this squad. It is Zombie Demon. Now to the home side. R will lead the way for Brandon Kuma's Tampa Bay Gators today. Following him out there will be Ratified at the middleman spot. To the captain spot for Tampa Bay, it's going to be 47 Ronin. And at 5-point gainer, the rookie Night Track. So both teams set and ready to go for this one. As we can tell the difference between Track and Night Track. So, just a slightly different paint job. And also, Track is a little bit heavier because he actually had some tungsten putty put inside. So, again, teams will use that in cars to pump up weight a little bit. especially in the track model, right? Because those models are pretty light. So, but nonetheless, scoreless game here as we get ready to start things off, of course. Open and smash off right there, and we have a good flip. So, close to a mesh break over here, but there is no mesh break. Folks, we might have a flip on both sides. I thought he was being leaned up on here in the corner, but there is... He's not touching, folks. Elray is down. I knew that R was down, but I thought Elray was up, leaned up against the post. He's not making contact with the post, folks, so it is a good flip. So what I thought was a 5-0 Atlanta lead is actually, folks, tied at 5. So the opening collision ends up 5-5 for both these squads. That will now bring out track and ratified. So here we go. Game tied at 5 as we continue here, and what a match so far. And oh, both cars able to stay up and no flip there, so they'll just switch sides here. And this time, track has a good flip. The rookie takes down ratified. And it's Atlanta in the lead this time. 10-5 the score. So that will now bring out 47 Ronin for the Gators. They'll have to try to get this game tied up. That's what he'll be looking to do. Of course, Track, the rookie, going for the win. And boy, wouldn't that be impressive onto the resume if he could take down the defending Eastern Conference champs. And both cars are going to be down here, but there's a difference. One of the differences is that 47 Ronin, I'm pretty sure, has a mesh break on his side. And this is not like an out of play. If he's got a mesh break, he's still in this game. Track could still definitely be down, as you can see. Clearly in the mesh. Clearly that's a break. So 47 Ronin is alive and in it. But just barely over here, folks. So I'm going down the side where we got the post. He is not making contact with the post. So, folks, track is down. And just like that, we've got ourselves a tie game. All even at 10. And so close on this post. Twice now Atlanta players have come. But just can't make that contact with the post to get the to basically get the mesh break that would come with it. So we've got a 10-10 game. 47 Ronin. Barely surviving there. Can he survive again as he takes on FrostJet? And despite this game being tied, it feels like a game that the Gators have been on the ropes, if you will, or on the mesh. Maybe be the better phrase to use. As this game continues here. And FrostJet doing some damage to that front end. By the looks of it, these two continue to battle. And it just flipped around that front end there. So these two continuing to go at it. And a timeout's going to be called by the Gators. So, that's going to reset things on the field, as a matter of fact. They'll reset back to their own sides from the timeout. And some fresh tape going to be put on to try to keep things all settled. And I don't know what might be the final fix for 47 Ronin here, as far as making sure this bottom lip part doesn't come around and do that, because that's what's happening, folks. So to try to keep this sort of tucked in under here. Again, more tape going to be in. As a matter of fact, we're going to take this loose piece that's hanging off here. It's kind of just loose debris. Seems to be getting in the way, getting caught on stuff. And I'm just putting just a fresh piece of tape there. And that's how we're going to roll them for right now. The 47 Ronin. The wear and tear of the years. Coming back to maybe haunt them a little bit here. But Tampa Bay's taking their one time out. They're ready to go. And you guys kind of got behind the scenes on how things going to go here. But nonetheless, 10-10 the score. Reset on their own sides. 40. Oh, that time no roll. 47 Ronin and FrostJet continuing to go. And that little extra tape, it's extra grippy. Hasn't been slid around yet. But slides well enough there to get a good collision and a good flip on FrostJet. FrostJet taken down there, 15-10. The Gators take their first lead of this game here. if I'm not mistaken. Because it was 10-10 at first, and then they were down. But nonetheless, 15-10, the score in favor of Tampa Bay. 47 Ronan looking to put it away. And the number 1 overall pick of the draft. Right there for the Atlanta Avengers. That's Zombie Demon trying to force overtime. And here we go. Can the rookie do it? And this time we are very close, but I think both cars are down. Both cars are down on a roll that was barely any good. As a matter of fact, going to be called a bad roll. They were both down. They would have had to get back up anyway in the process. Game can end on a tie between a 5-point gainer and a captain. So they'll go at it again. Bad roll call. They do some more, and we are headed into OT right there. That time, a good flip that will send this game to OT. As 47 Ronan is down, and Zombie Demon, his first flip of the year. I think it is, and it might be his first flip. I think it's the first flip of his career, folks. We'll find out real quick. Well, folks, back from that, and yes, I checked. That was his very first career flip right there. So, took longer than I expected. You know, everything works well when you're just, you know, but the second you kind of need it in a hurry, you know, that's when things get complicated, right? So here we go. Night track, though, out here for the Gators. And, of course, Zombie Demon looking to go 2-0, get his first game winner flip. We're tied at 15. We're taking cancer to overtime yet again. $5 going to both St. Jude's and the Animal Cancer Foundation. And here we go. Both cars staying up on that collision. They'll go at it again. And we got a tie right here. Night track. Night track is down. Zombie Demon is down. Both cars down. Of course, the ruling on the field stands, and that game-ending flip is good. That collision was good. 15-15 will be the final score of this one. You know, the Avengers have been a team that, despite being underdogs against Tampa Bay in the past, have produced upsets against the Gators in the past. Well, they couldn't come away with the win here, but they do get the next best thing. They got a tie. 2 points. Going to be going to both of these teams. And folks, through 6 weeks of regular season, we did not have a single tie. Here in week 7 alone, we've had 2 games end up in a tie. Of course, Washington and Miami yesterday in the Atlantic Division, no less. And now Atlanta and Tampa Bay. So all 4 of those teams going to be getting 2 points in the standings. And the only division that we've had ties in this year, it's the Atlantic Division. Maybe they're taking offense to the Central Division getting called the most talented one at this point. Who knows? Because they have produced 2 of the closest games all year, right? The only 2 ties all year. But nonetheless, we're going to go to the Northeast Division. We'll see if we can get one just as entertaining as this, as we've got Hunter Bradshaw's Boston Vandals on the road next to take on the Detroit Devils. Can Hunter hand Detroit their second straight loss and just second overall loss of the season? Find out. Welcome back, Smashheads. Time to move on to the last game from the Eastern Conference here today. And what do you know? First place in the Eastern Conference is about to be on the line. We've got the Boston Vandals here on the road with a record of 2 wins, 3 losses, no ties, 1 overtime loss. Of course, trying to pick up a big 3 points here on the road against a team that is trying to bounce back from taking their first loss of the year, the Detroit Devils. 5 wins, and of course that 1 shutout loss that they just took last week at the hands of the Buffalo Warriors. So here Detroit is at home looking to bounce back and get on the right track. And of course, if they were to do so, if they were to get a win right here, they would jump to first place in the Eastern Conference, and it would be uncontested, folks, as Tampa Bay was only able to get a tie today and pick up 2 points in the standings, so that put them to 17 points. With a win here, Detroit could get themselves to 18 points. So a huge match, really, for both teams. Let's get a look at the lineup. Starting with the visiting side, Hunter Bradshaw's Boston Vandals. They'll lead the way with Nitro. Following them out there will be Rising Heat. At the captain spot will be Riddler for the Vandals, and at 5-point gainer, it is going to be Chameleon. Of course, Riddler, we just talked about him, and he was last year's Rookie of the Year. Struggling so far in his second season. We'll see if he can lead this team back here today against a tough opponent. Let's look at that opponent. The Detroit Devils, not changing up a thing. Sticking with the lineup that got them their first 5 wins. Snowbat leads the way for the Devils today. Following him out there will be V-Dub at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's going to be spec tight for the Devils, and at 5-point gainer, it will be Blue BMW. A car that still, despite losing last week, has not had a chance to actually get a single collision yet this year. At least not in the regular season. So Snowbat, if you look at the stats on him, it's just zeroed out. He hasn't had a chance to go out there yet because the front 3 has been really so good except for that one last game. But we'll see what happens here today. Nitro and Snowbat leading us off here. Game is on. Both cars stay up, and they'll go at it again. And both cars seem to be pretty equal to each other up to this point. So scoreless game, and first 5 points are going to be tough, but that time a gray shot. Nitro goes way out of play, and we'll reset. Still a scoreless game. These two go at it some more. Nitro staying really stable, but Snowbat doesn't really look too bothered either. Both cars showing some good defensive talent. Good spin cycle by Snowbat there. So we continue, and this time, both cars are staying up. Both cars staying up, and you're hearing the mesh up against the wall. He actually hit the mesh, but pretty much went through. But nonetheless, didn't go through it, but there's the wall on the other side, and that's what you hear. That's what you're hearing Snowbat hit occasionally. But they have switched sides here. Both cars staying up, and they'll go at it again from opposite sides again. Snowbat close to getting Nitro to the edge and basically forcing them to have to be good on the edge, which is tough to do for some cars. And again, Nitro holding up, and I think Snowbat likes the roadside better because he's having an easier time doing that, as that time caught that little edge lip on the one logo of the field, and keep in mind, that is part of the field. It would be totally legal because both cars have to deal with that. And now they'll switch here because an out of play is made. So, Snowbat out of play, and we'll continue. Both cars back to their own sides from which they started. Still a scoreless game here, by the way, as Boston and Detroit continue their battle. And Detroit is same situation as Kansas City, right? Switching divisions. They used to be part of the Central Division. Now part of the Northeast after Kansas City came into the league. After Gowanda relocated to Kansas City, I should say the Outlaws relocated from Gowanda to Kansas City. But nonetheless, all that talking I'm doing, and no one's getting any flips here on the field. So talk about a boost for defensive stats. As this match continues, and yes, both cars keeping their own sides. And we have an out of play right here. So mesh break or not, wouldn't even have mattered. I don't think there was one, because we had an out of play, and that would save Snowbat right there as Nitro went out of play. Still a scoreless game as we continue. Looking for the first 5 points of this one. We finally got it. Nitro is down. Snowbat. It took him forever, but he finally gets the flip that will give the Devils the lead in this one. A 5-0 game for Detroit as we continue. Rising heat, looking to even it up. It almost did. Snowbat able to dance his way over, and again able to dance his way up and over. But so far, we know who it is so far. It's all Snowbat on the defensive, but there we have a flip, but I don't think it's going to stand. We got our knife here over the edge, and definitely a mesh break. So, Rising Heat, saved by the mesh break. We still got a 5-0 game. Detroit in the lead. And make it 5-5. Rising Heat making them pay. So, all even now is that will bring out V-Dub for the Devils. And what a game on hand. 5-5 the score. V-Dub very good at offense himself. Rising Heat more known for his defensive side and having to play defense right now. And V-Dub has a good flip right there, as we said. V-Dub. His offense almost unparalleled. So he gets the flip that will give the Devils the lead. 10-5 the score, and now V-Dub goes for the win. Riddler trying to tie things up. Last year's Rookie of the Year gets sat right down. 15-5. And that will be the final, of course, at the Rolling on the Field stands, which it looked like a good collision from where I stand. The Detroit Devils back in the winner column, and not only that, is they get this 15-5 win at home. They get into first place in the Eastern Conference, 6 wins and 1 loss. For Boston, they fall to 2-4, 0-1, a very tough L for them to take, but nonetheless, beaten by a very tough Detroit Devils team. And this Devils team at 6-1, first place in the East. Of course, we are going to finish things off in the West. Hey, the Nevada Thunder, they're like Detroit in a way, 6 wins out of 7 games. The only difference is Nevada's 1 loss came in overtime. So that puts them a point ahead of Detroit in the standings. But there's a team that can get past Nevada in the standings, and they're about to be on the field next. It is Brandon Kuma's Mexico City Jaguars on the road, looking for a win to keep them in first place in the entire CDL. But to do it, they got to go on the road to beat the Denver Mustangs, or to take on the Denver Mustangs in what is going to be our main event. Of course, Denver's looking to beat Mexico City and dethrone them from the top of the league, and of course, pull closer to them in the standings. Because, hey, Denver at 4-2. They're definitely in that playoff hunt right now and trying to better their position. So, it's the main event. It's next. Denver Mustangs taking on the Mexico City Jaguars. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Smashheads. It's finally time for our Week 7 main event here in the Car Demolition League. And for this game, what a matchup it should be. Is we got 2 solid teams from the Central Division about to go head-to-head. 2 of the top teams in the league right now. When you take a look at the records, 4 wins and 2 losses. That's the record of the home team tonight, the Denver Mustangs. Hunter Bradshaw's squad trying to get their 5th win of the year and trying to catch up in the standings, which are right now being led by these guys right here. That is Brandon Kuma's Mexico City Jaguars. They themselves have 5 wins and just 1 overtime loss. No losses in regulation, no ties. So trying to keep that much of a clean slate going is, of course, that 1 OT loss. Their only blemish thus far. And not only that, they are perfect in the Western Conference, as their only loss came to Buffalo in overtime. So go figure out Buffalo. They beat Mexico City, they beat Detroit, and then yesterday they lost to the New York Empire, who were winless. But not winless anymore. But nonetheless, we'll try to figure out. It's safe to say that anything can happen in the Car Demolition League, just about. I know I'm ripping off a certain company that's really popular right there, but nonetheless, let's get a look at the lineups for both sides. Leading the way here today for the visiting Mexico City Jaguars, it is Inquisitor. Following them out there at the middleman spot, it is going to be Solid Snake. At the captain spot for the Jaguars, it is going to be Charizard. And at 5-point gainer for Mexico City, it will be 48 Hours. To the home side, here we go. It is the Denver Mustangs. Leading the way for them, it's going to be Blue Dragon 2. Following them out there at the middleman spot, it's going to be Hammer Jr. At the captain spot for Denver today, it will be Highlight. And at the 5-point gainer position for the Mustangs, it's going to be Vendetta. So there you go, folks. We get the back 3 off the field. The front runners will be left to do their business here. It's the Denver Mustangs squaring up with the Mexico City Jaguars. Huge Central Division showdown. So here we go. Blue Dragon 2 and Inquisitor leading us off. Game is on. Both cars stay up off the first collision. They'll go at it again. A grazing shot. And again, both cars survive. Inquisitor is not down with that funky little get him back on the field. But nonetheless, match continues. Still scoreless here. 2 solid cars having a matchup right now. And, you know, it's safe to say Hunter's been through this with Boston in just the last game. Took forever to get that first flip in that Boston-Detroit game, but nonetheless, these two scoreless so far, and hey, builds up defensive stats and out of play. So that collision right there is not going to count because of the out of play. It's Blue Dragon 2 that goes out. So still a scoreless game. Here's this match continues. Blue Dragon 2 and, of course, Inquisitor. Both going head-to-head here, having a game, and it's going to be Inquisitor that finally gets flipped, and right here on the edge. Folks, don't think that you can see from where you are at. If I try to wheel this in. Oh, there it is. Don't think it's going to work out very much, but trying to wheel them in. There, now you can see them. So that took longer than what it needed to, just to show y'all that that was a good flip right there. And it is Inquisitor that goes down. 5-0 Mustangs have the lead. As Hunter Bradshaw looking to defeat Brandon Kuma in 2 straight weeks. Of course, Denver gave Tampa Bay their first loss of the season just last week. Got the lead here 5-0 as that brings out Solid Snake. So here we go. Solid Snake and Blue Dragon 2. Squaring up here. Both cars staying up after a few collisions. They continue their fight. Again, both cars staying in it. Switching sides here from the opposite ends. And both cars are going to be down right here. Blue Dragon 2's down, and so is Solid Snake. And folks, Denver 1 flip away from a win. And look who's coming out for them now. The same car that beat up on Tampa Bay just last week. Hammer Jr. out here with the lead. 10-5 the score. He'll look for the win. He's taking on Charizard. Charizard trying to even the score. Goes airborne, stays alive. That time a bad roll. But he went airborne, stayed alive. He'll go at it again, and this time no question, and Charizard's down, and it is over. Final score here, 15-5. The Denver Mustangs are on a roll, defeating Brandon Kuma in back-to-back games against both his teams. Tampa Bay in Week 6. And now the Denver Mustangs defeat the Mexico City Jaguars in Week 7. I think we've got the birth of a rivalry right here. Mustangs coming up huge. Of course, the ruling on the field stands. They get it done. Blue Dragon 2, though, got to give that car credit. Setting it all up. Gets a flip to take the lead, which took a while to get him. And then after that, able to get the tie collision with one of Mexico City's best offensive cars, which set things up perfectly for Hammer Jr. to go finish the job. And that he did. The Mustangs improved to 5 wins and 2 losses. Of course, for the Mexico City Jaguars, their first regulation loss of the year, they will fall to 5-1-0-1. So they'll be just barely ahead of Denver in the standings. But folks, that means that we have only one team holding down first place in the Car Demolition League right now, and that would be the rookie team owner, Ricky Riffenbach, and his Nevada Thunder, 6 wins and 1 overtime loss. And folks, that's your first place team in the CDL. So Nevada fans, go nuts. You have captured first place with this here result just now. But that being said, thank you, folks, for watching. I'm James Holst Jr., owner and creator of the Car Demolition League. And hopefully you'll like, subscribe, and join us next week for more Table Derby action. So it should be great. Still kind of deciding on what the main event should be. Should it be the Los Angeles Blades and the Nevada Thunder? You know, the new team in first place, right? Or could it be something like the Montreal Monarchs and the Buffalo Warriors? That would actually be a pretty good game, I think. But nonetheless, we got some choices, and I'll go on ahead and I'll make up my mind, and then I'll let you know in the credits, right? So until next week, much love, take care of yourselves, be yourselves, and as always, peace.